So you're thinking probably, boy, I've seen this before. There's WeWork and WorkBar and CIC and many other shared workspaces. We're very similar to that, except for we have, and through those doors, is our lab space. And what we have found is that there are many startups that really need access to a good area to prototype. And that's everything from access to machine shop and tools, 3D printing, to electronic lab, and just space and ability to work. And so you'll see, as we're going to open those doors shortly, and you'll see the lab space. And we've had a number of the companies from the community come and join us today, and they'll be showing you some of the hardware. As I mentioned, we started on this mission about 1.5 years ago, and it was really came out through some of the work that Mass TLC did, Mass Technology Leadership Council, sorry about that. And I want to invite Tom Hopcroft, who is their president and CEO, to come up and talk a little bit about the economy, the innovation economy, and Mass TLC.
Thanks, Tom. So as Tom mentioned, my name is Tom Hopcroft. I'm the president and CEO of the Mass Technology Leadership Council. We're the state's largest technology industry organization. Our members range from very early stage startups to global enterprise, and collectively represent over 170,000 people in the tech sector, which is about 60% of the tech sector. So all one needs to do around here is just take a walk around the Innovation District, and you'll see that tech is thriving in Massachusetts. In 4 of the last 5 years, we've added about 5,000 people each year. In the most recent year, we added 12,000. So amidst this tech renaissance, there are also macro trends at play. We're at an inflection point as we enter the 4th industrial era. This is an age that's characterized by the instrumenting and automating of our physical world. And for Massachusetts, this really is our sweet spot. When it comes to smart, connected machines and devices, robots, the Internet of Things, Massachusetts draws on a legacy 4 decades deep of data, analytics, artificial intelligence, sensors, actuators, advanced manufacturing, and cybersecurity, which may not position us to be the best in the world for starting your next social media or Web 2.0 company, but it sure tees us up well to be at the center of the robotics and IoT startup renaissance. As Tom said, it feels like it's been a long time in coming. At Mass TLC, we've been convening, building connections, and advocating for the robotics community on a regular basis for over a dozen years. We issued the first reports on the cluster in 2009 and later in 2013, showcasing the strength and diversity of our ecosystem. We recognized robotics leaders, companies, and innovations each year. We traveled with the cluster to places like Pittsburgh and Washington, D.C., to be sure that Massachusetts was well represented. In fact, it was through our cluster meetings, led on my team by Joyce Sidopoulos and co-chaired by Tom Ryden, that Daniel and Beatty and Ty and Steve came together with their respective ideas, developed and refined their plans with regular input from the community, and then, quite literally, moved heaven and earth to create what is today MassRobotics. And I thank them all for their leadership and perseverance. I often say that I have the best job in the world, as I get to hang around with people and organizations that are literally creating the future, from bionic limbs and exoskeletons to self-driving cars. It's in their decisions to locate in Massachusetts that innovative companies that actually make things, companies like Amazon Robotics and Vecna Technologies and General Electric, continue to validate that there's something special going on here with smart connected machines and devices. So MassRobotics comes onto the scene not a moment too early. I'm honored to be a founding partner and serve on the board, and I cannot wait to see all of the great things to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And as Tom mentioned, we have some great partners in this effort, and they come from the community. They really come from a host of different robotic startups that came together and said, we need to build a place like MassRobotics. So I'd like to invite up Dan Theobald. Daniel is the founder of Vecna Technologies. You can actually see some of their stuff here as well. So it's one of the leading robotics companies here in Massachusetts. But in addition to that, Daniel has been really kind of the tip of the spear in getting MassRobotics started and creating this energy around it. So I really want to thank Daniel and have him come up and say a couple of words.
Thank you, Tom. What a great day. I really appreciate everyone coming out to celebrate this really special occasion with us. You know, robots are the future. And business is important. Making money is important. But people are what matter. And I really wanted to focus my short remarks today on that and gratitude. You know, first I really want to express gratitude to the generations that have come before us. It's oftentimes easy to forget that it's their shoulders we stand on when we can build an amazing modern society, when we can do the cool things that we can do today. It's because of hundreds of thousands, millions of people who have come before us. And hopefully we can be those people for the future as well. Second, I really want to give my gratitude to the great team at Vecna. Tom mentioned, at Vecna, I really have a core value of giving back. And at Vecna, we pay our employees to spend 10% of their work week doing community service. It was a group of people at Vecna contributing their community service time that have really helped to make this possible. I actually was interested, and so this morning I ran a report in our time tracking system, and Vecna employees have tracked over 7,500 hours towards MassRobotics and its STEM-related missions. So I'm super excited and grateful that that team is able to contribute and give back in that way. I want to thank the amazing board that we have at MassRobotics. As was said, this has been an effort in moving heaven and earth, and the group of people that we were able to get together, multidisciplinary, wide variety of perspectives, is I think really what has helped to make this possible. So Tom Hopcroft, Colin Engel, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us. Actually, the rest weren't able to make it here today because they're all traveling, but Colin Engel from iRobot, C.A. Webb representing the VC community, Tim Rowe representing the co-working space community, and Daniela Roos representing the university community. And it was that group of people that really had a lot of back and forth about what this should be and how we can make it something that truly serves the best interests of this community, both here in Massachusetts and in the world. And this is one point that I think is important for us to take home, is that this really needs to be an international organization. We cannot be the world's leaders here in Massachusetts and not take that international leadership position. So we need to understand that, I think, and embrace that. And I think we are well down that path, and that's exciting. Finally, in my gratitude, I wanted to really express my heartfelt thanks to that core group of original ideation founders that got together to make this possible. And wanted to actually invite them up to, they are in the background so often. I think it's only fitting that they get a little bit of time in front of the camera. So Ty Brady from Amazon, I think he was not able to make it today. But Steve Pascal, Fadi Saad, and Joyce Sidopoulos. If you could please come up. Just talking about the importance of people, this process over the past few years to make this happen has been a real education for a nerd engineer like me. They don't normally let me out of the lab so much, but it has been a real education and challenging and rewarding. And you know, we've had experiences where we would get very passionate about things, even sometimes have arguments. I even raised my voice a few times, which is very uncharacteristic of me, but you know, to get people together that are that passionate about things and really fighting to make it happen, to fight to make something that they believe in happen, I think is just amazing. So I really wanted to thank my co-conspirators here and give them some of the credit they deserve. And to just wrap up, I wanted to give special appreciation from us, the founding group here, to Joyce, because any of you who have gotten the pleasure to interact with Joyce, oh, I get choked up, sorry. She's amazing. So my hope is that we can all be more like Joyce and give back without concern for what we're going to get out of it. And if we can do more of that as a community, everything we put our effort into is going to be successful.
Daniel is absolutely correct. We have a tremendous team, and for those of you who don't know Joyce, get to know her. She is the one who makes all of this happen, and I think if you ask most of the robotics companies, they all know her because she is a great one to get them involved, and that's the kind of folks we need. But it's not just our folks. We've also had great support from the state of Massachusetts. And I'd like to invite up Tim Connolly. Tim is the new executive director from Mass Technology Collaborative. And Mass Tech Collaborative was an early helper in this initiative. They provided one of the first seed grants around the John Adams Innovation Grant many years ago to do some research. And they have also just completed a major study on the robotics industry here in Massachusetts. And I've asked Tim to come up and say a couple of words. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Dan, and everyone. That is a hard act to follow, so I will do my best. On behalf of Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, Secretary Ash, and Assistant Secretary Stebbins, who is here today, congratulations to all of you and Tom on this wonderful achievement. That's right, Mass Tech Collaborative, our organization, is designed to foster collaboration, as the name implies. The synergies between academia, a major strength in our state, government, a major strength in our state, and private industry and private equity. Private equity and private industry coming together to do things that may not naturally happen on their own. And this is a bit of an example of that, okay? We did commission a study a couple years ago to help inform our thinking on what the sector needed, what the cluster needed, what our strengths were, what our weaknesses were. There's a one-pager here that's available outside that you can take a look at. But that actually came, and there was a couple conclusions about that. And I've got a lot of numbers, which I will not bore you with, but suffice it to say, we have a really great space here. We have dominance in this space, and it's growing. But we had a hole, and that hole was something like what you're standing in today. A first-class robotics cluster center, innovation incubator, accelerator, whatever you want to call it, a place where entrepreneurs and academics and business people can come together and create that synergies that we all look for in business, that 1 + 1 = 3 model, right? So in any event, throwing out the script a little bit as I was reflecting on this, I actually think that's what we're celebrating today. And I know I speak for the governor when I say that he passionately believes in collaboration. And I think passion is a word that the robotics industry has, in spades. In fact, more, I would argue, than other industries we troll in. And so with that in mind, think about it. We've got the mayor here, the city of Boston contributing. We've got the state contributing. We've got private industry contributing. We've got trade industries contributing. And all together for a common purpose. And I know what the governor would say if he was here, is he would say that so much about government now is a little bit tense, and oftentimes there's a carrot and a stick, and too oftentimes the stick is employed sometimes, and you recognize that. Unfortunately, we have to deal with that. But too little times the carrot is given. And I know what we're celebrating here, what happened today, is what we want to celebrate and what we want more of as a state. And so with that in mind, we actually, we called up Tom the other day and offered an incremental grant to MassRobotics of $75,000 to bring a robotic platform for use by entrepreneurs and the like. And so, well done, congratulations, and I think as a public policy, that's what we want to do more. We want to reward wonderful things that are happening in our space and essentially top them up. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll turn it back over to Tom.
So we're extremely pleased for this, this recent grant. As Tim mentioned, it was just earlier in the week that we started discussing. We've been working with the state on a number of different initiatives. This one particularly is around something that we're passionate about. It's advanced robotic manufacturing. And so for many of you, you know, but we are on a team. We're on the what's called the ARM team, which is a team that was formed to go after a manufacturing innovation institute. And the team was successful, and in January was awarded the contract. It's a $273 million contract to develop a manufacturing innovation institute. The idea is, through the use of robots, to be able to bring manufacturing back here into the state of Massachusetts. Well, I should say, it's a national institute. It's actually headquartered out of Pittsburgh, so they want to do that for the country as a whole. We have teamed with MIT to co-lead what's called a Regional Innovation Center. And as part of that, we're building up a series of collaborative robots, industrial robots, that can be used by startups and companies alike to develop some of the new technology that's being implemented on these types of robots. You'll actually see a collaborative robot here in a second. And so we're pretty excited about what it can do, but there's so much more this technology can do. And we're pleased to be a part of it. We're very pleased that the state has contributed to us to allow us to build up that infrastructure. So finally, our last speaker is the Honorable Mayor Walsh from the city of Boston. He is the 54th mayor, I believe, and was sworn in back in January of 2014. I will say that for many of you, you probably don't know, we are in a city of Boston building. When we started the looking for our space, we looked all over, and we were very impressed with the support that we got out of John Barros and the Economic Development's office, and Krista's, butcher her last name, was phenomenal in helping us. We were a startup, and we needed to understand what we could do here in the city of Boston. They were very open and receptive. They have a great team. And they helped us find this location and negotiate and work our way through some of the challenges we had here. And I think that's unique among cities. And in fact, I want a special call out to Rory Kadir. Where's Rory? Rory's in the back there. Rory is in the mayor's office and is essentially the small business czar. He is their small business liaison. And Rory has, since we're a startup, he's been very helpful to us, but he's also been working with a couple of the startups that we have in this facility. And it's a great relationship. We're looking forward to having him spend some time here, work with some of the startups, and really be exposed to what the city of Boston has to offer. So on that, I'd like to invite the mayor to come up and say a couple of words.
Thank you, Tom, and great speech, Tom. That was incredible. And Tim and everyone here today, thank you for being here today. I want to congratulate MassRobotics. And, you know, when I walked in the front door today, I was coming here for a ribbon cutting of a new company basically starting up in the Seaport. What I realized was I walked into a family, a company that is a family. And I want to thank you for that, for your words. They really were moving. You don't always hear that when you hear companies talking about starting up and recognizing and appreciating the people that aren't always in the front of the room, they're always in the back of the room. And we know that most people in the back of the room do all the work. So I want to thank you, congratulate you for that. I also want to thank you for choosing Boston and the waterfront. There's a lot of activity happening here in the South Boston waterfront, particularly around Ray Flynn Industrial Park here that we're having. Obviously, you're joining Autodesk and Mass Challenge, and Boston is quickly becoming the hub of robotics, and I think that that's an important piece. We're excited about the potential in sharing this space and bringing the robotic community together. And as Tim mentioned about the governor talking about what's going on in the world, there's a lot going on in the world. Most of it, I'm assuming most of us in the room don't agree with what's going on in the world. But I do know this, Here in Boston and Massachusetts, we're continuing to move forward. We're continuing to look to grow the business sectors. That's what's important in our city. Many startups are going to benefit right here with access to crucial resources, electronic labs, and 3D printing. Businesses that are starting up. It was mentioned earlier, Rory and his team, and Lauren Jones, and Krista, and John Bowers' team is about how do we make sure when new companies come to the city, they feel welcome when they want to start up. How do they get the supports they get? We're also having an opportunity with our young people and our youth and adults to access to hands-on STEM opportunities. We're investing right now in the city of Boston in the Dearborn STEM Academy. We're taking a 7 to 12 high school, basically, and we're turning into a STEM academy to really prepare for the jobs of the future. Everything we talk about is about how do we really prepare for the jobs of the future. As I mentioned in my State of the City about a month ago, we dedicated space and buildings to support the tech and innovative sector, but we're also working for drives for success and our economy. We want our economy to be a global economy here in Boston. We want the ideas to start here and then take them around the world. MassRobotics is at the forefront of this growth. They're helping us keep top talent in our city. They're creating new jobs. They're building a strong, healthy, highly skilled, trained workforce. And they're also helping us with the workforce of the future. Right now they're doing it in our city. So I want to, again, thank you for that. You've also been a leader in the conversation on the future of our transportation in the city of Boston. They've been building and guiding us on state and local level on the potential for self-driving vehicles that are being put an example outside this door out here right now, autonomous vehicles. They're showing us how robotics aligns with Boston's transportation goals, such as safety, access, and reliability. Throughout their working group, they discuss ways of supporting the needs of businesses and building the type of technology that we need. In fact, the impact of robotic technology is enormous in medicine, life sciences, manufacturing, education, and so much more right now. But right now, the robotic cluster in Massachusetts has more than 150 companies, and is growing all of the time. The projects and the ideas housed in this workspace represent the future jobs and innovation for the city of Boston. But not just the city of Boston or the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Tom mentioned this all over the world, right here in this space, where we're looking at the jobs of the future. So again, I just want to thank MassRobotics for their important work and their vision. I wish them the best of luck. Tom mentioned John Barrows. I remember when John Barrows came to me about space in this building, and he insisted that MassRobotics be here. He insisted because he talked about how do we make sure we continue to prepare for the future of Boston and the future of Massachusetts. So I'm glad that we're able to be part of that. And also we're going to continue to work with you as you grow, expand, and thrive in your new home here in the Seaport. And I want to thank all the companies that are here today. I want to thank you for what you do for our city and for our Commonwealth. Because it's important that we continue to be ahead of the technology and stay ahead of the game every day. So again, I want to thank you for the employees that are here. I want to thank you as well. I want to thank you for your commitment to this great city and this great Commonwealth. I wish you a strong, good luck in the future, and I look forward to taking a little tour in a little bit.
Well, Mayor, thank you very much. We actually have one more chore for you, and we're going to do that in a quick second. Yeah, a little ribbon cutting. But I would be remiss to not thank our sponsors who allowed us to build out this facility, to equip this facility, and to do a lot of our education and outreach that we do beyond what's here in this facility. And they're listed here on our thing, but I just wanted to highlight them. I'm not going to go through them because I'll probably screw it up and miss one, and that would be embarrassing. But it's a great team of local companies that have contributed to our efforts. And in addition, as the mayor mentioned, we're looking to grow. We have right now almost half of this facility fill, and we're technically not even open yet. So we have the rights to the second floor in this building. The city has offered us a great opportunity there, and we're looking to expand there. To do so, we need to build that floor out, and we need funding. And so we are entering into a campaign to raise $5 million to build out that floor. And I do want to announce that one of our founding sponsors, who is on this list, has come forward and said that they are going to be one of the first ones and have contributed a significant amount to that, and that's Harmonic Drive. And I know there's some folks from Harmonic Drive here. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. also want to thank the folks at Cambridge Innovation Center, CIC. So we partnered with them early on. In fact, Tim Rowe chairs our board. But CIC is the leading co-working space facilitator in the country. There's so much you don't know about running a shared workspace, and until you get in and start working with those folks, the knowledge they have shared with us to allow us to get up to speed as quickly as we have has been phenomenal. And I really wanted to thank Tim Rowe and his team. A number of them are here, and they have contributed in a whole host of ways. But we really I want to thank those folks, again, contributing and giving back. So now on to some fun stuff. I'm going to invite the mayor and also Assistant Secretary Katie Stebbins, who is hiding somewhere in the audience. I'm going to invite you to the lab door, and we're going to do a little ribbon cutting. So this is an example of a collaborative robot. This is the new technology that's being developed here in Boston. In fact, this company is located just up the street. It'll actually go through a little dance here. All right, you gotta get it on the other side.